Hi, Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. My first turning project, many years ago, was a set of spindles for my living room furniture. As a poor student, that's all I could afford. But as I got more acquainted with wood turning, I saw the opportunity to turn wooden bowls like this one, and the opportunity to create shavings galore from the process, especially if the wood was green. And this project actually took me back on a nostalgia trip, back to my roots of wood turning, to turn this cherry bowl, about 8 inches from green wood. It was only partially dry. It's still got a lot to lose in terms of moisture. So let's turn this cherry bowl from green wood all at once.
As I look at this wood, I'm seeing some drying checks on the face. It looks like a limb took off at this point into the other half of the trunk. While I'd love to preserve some of the figure from this, I don't think it is practical for this project. On the curved side, the tree surface was not a uniform curve. I don't see a semicircle. On the opposite side is a little bit of the opposite limb. On the bandsaw, I cut off the ends, trimmed off the thin section of the opposite limb, and clipped off the corners. Now at the lathe, I'm using a 2-prong drive center and eyeballing where to put the wood between centers. Even with a 2-prong center, I should have taken the time to pound the center into the face of the timber because it did not dig in and hold as expected. The wood did spin and bore the center into the face. Cinching up the tailstock compensated for the drilling action. Then I positioned the tool rest at about a 45-degree angle as close as possible to the wood. Using a large bowl gouge, I want to approach the timber from the tailstock side as much as possible, since this is the side grain. The wood is out of balance, so I cannot turn up the speed very much yet. From this side, it is much easier to start a continuous cut. It gets bouncy as I cut out where the wood is not round, but it is still easier from this side. Plus, this wood is still green and cuts wonderfully. I get some of those amazingly long streamers of shavings. As the wood approaches being round, I can turn up the speed, but I still have flat spots on the side. I have to reduce the diameter some more. I will need to waste off at least an inch from the face and from the opposite sapwood. I also need to cut a tenon on which to reverse the bowl, plus a little indent to guide my eye in forming the bottom. Since the wood is green, I'll make the tenon a little longer than usual. Now that the hard work is done, I'm flipping the bowl around onto the tenon. For a little more security, at least at the beginning, I'm keeping the tailstock in place. I need to waste away about an inch from the top surface to get rid of some checks. I'm a little worried about the bark inclusion going across the top. I'm keeping an eye on it. I don't think it will fly off, but it may become a split in the side of the bowl. As I hollow the inside, I may be breaking a rule. Some turners advocate always cutting like this cut is the final cut and run from the edge down and across the bottom. Instead, I'm taking controlled cuts from the rim, but only part way. Then often I'm hogging out the middle to quickly remove wood, then taking a finish cut to clean up the rough wood. It works for me. When the bowl is near final thickness, I'm switching to a heavy bowl scraper to refine the final cuts. I love turning green wood. Then power sand through the grits and finish with walnut oil. Now to finish the foot, I'm mounting the bowl to my do-it-yourself coal jaws. I've measured the bottom thickness and have plenty of wood to remove. I'm using my large bowl gouge to start, but then the bowl scraper, a small gouge, and a skew. Then sand the foot and blend it into the bottom before sanding and applying more walnut oil. Turning beautiful wood bowls was one big motivator to me learning to turn wood and then to source green turning wood. It also influenced the size and weight of my lathe. Very little beats seeing a beautiful bowl emerge from a section of the trunk of a tree and knowing I made that. That's a wrap. We'll see you again next week for another wood turning video. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and tell your friends. Always wear your full face shield. Goggles are not enough protection. Until next week, this is Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. Let's keep turning.